What's good, YouTube family? So to kick this cut off, I'm gonna show you a little before. Then we're gonna go in and comb everything down. The reason that you want to comb the hair is because it lifts it up off the scalp, so that you get the most even cut possible. And just make sure that you're combing in the pattern that the person brushes their hair, or the pattern that it grows naturally, just so that you don't gap them. And when I mean gap, I mean like if you cut against waves, it's gonna put a gap in their hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the ball lines in, and on the back, I'm just gonna set it in right up underneath his earlobes and clear this panel out. On the side, we're doing a high taper, so I'm gonna take it from the top of his vertical bar to the bottom of his ear and clear that panel out. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put my number 1 guard on, and I got my number 1 guard closed, and I'm just going with the grain. And notice how I'm combing as I'm cutting too, just so I can pull the hair up off the scalp as much as possible, so I get the most even cut possible. Now to begin this fade, as you see, I got my lever open, and to establish my first guideline, I'm gonna set it in about 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna be flicking out as I do that. And then I'm gonna come with my blade flat after I establish the guideline and go up to the top of it. And then I'm gonna close my clipper halfway, go halfway down the guideline. Then I'm gonna close my clipper all the way and hit the bottom of the guideline and take the line out completely. Notice how I'm brushing and keeping everything clean as I'm fading. Now I got my number 1.5 guard on, because I know I cut in with the 1 closed, so this 1.5 is going to blend right up into that 1 closed. Really a 1 open could. I just like to make sure that everything is laying how it's supposed to, and that I don't put no lines in the face. Now I got my number 1 guard on, and I'm just smoothing this out just a little more, because I feel like the wall one is a little bit closer than the Andis Masters one. So I went down with it just to smooth it out a little more, and now I'm going up. And then I got the blade open. I'm going right up under where we left off of that 1.5 closed. So I got the blade open on this. Then I'm just gonna be going open, halfway and closed, slowly coming down and pulling this fade together. Every time I close my clipper, I come down on the fade. And notice how I said before, always brush when you're fading, just because it pulls everything. It pulls the hairs as much as you can. It stretches them out just so you can really see everything for what it is. So now I got the 0 guard on, and in most cases I use my 0 guard as like a eraser, which is still like that as an eraser. Usually I just lever play and use the corner of my blades on my 0 guard, which you see me doing here. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going open, halfway and close, but more than that, I'm just opening my lever and just picking out dark spots and erasing them. I'm getting everything lighter right here at the bottom, just so it pulls everything together. Now this is where being a detail barber comes into play. This is just lever playing and doing detail work, using the corner of my clipper, using the edge of my blade just to pick out dark spots and make them lighter, just to get this fade as smooth as possible. And like I said before, time and time again, God is in the details. So make sure that you're paying attention to the details of everything, and in your life every day, in your haircuts and everything you do. Make sure that you're paying attention to the details and doing everything to the best of your ability for the right reasons. Alright y'all, so my word for today is, it is March 1st. We're already 3 months into the year, and this is a fresh start to a new month. Start this month how you want this month to finish. You might have had New Year's resolutions, this, that, and the other, that you didn't succeed at. But be successful starting this month how you want this month to finish, and holding a good perspective and thinking positively and working hard at the things that God has put on your heart to do. This is a brand new start to a brand new month. So you're in control of your future. You're in control of your destiny. You control your future and you walk in it. You control your destiny and you walk in it. So just make sure that you're putting God first, that you're letting God lead the way, and like you're following his footsteps, and the footsteps as he said before you. And also, just know that just like this is a fresh new start to a fresh new month, when you accept Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior and you get born again, you get a fresh new start to life. Like you really get to live a whole new life, and you find new meanings to life in every way. So I hope that if you don't know him, I hope you get to know him. If you know him already, I hope you get to know him more. Alright y'all, so to break off into his bag, it's the same steps as the side, except for this time, instead of going up about half an inch, I'm going to go up a full inch because we have more room in the back to work. So you see my client has an indentation in the back of his head, which makes it a little harder. But we're going to work our way around it, and how his hair grows sideways. You see how I had to turn my clipper just a second ago just to get the hair even, because no matter which way the hair grows, you have to cut it in the direct or against the grain, against the way that it grows, just so it lays how it's supposed to, and so the fade as smooth as possible. So you're gonna have to turn your clipper. You're gonna have to use lever play. You're gonna have to use the corner of your blade sometime. So I'm just going up the same steps, open, halfway, and close. And then I got my number 1.5 guard on now. And I'm just giving myself room to work in with this number 1 guard and making sure that this hair in the back, since he does have indentations in his head, and I'm just making sure that everything's cut how it's supposed to. Y'all see the logo, man. I'm gonna do a video explaining what my logo means so y'all can understand it better, but shop with me, man. Rock with me. Support. So right here I got my number 1 guard on, and I'm just going up right up under where we left off of that 1.5 with the blade open, and then I'm gonna close my clipper halfway and go halfway down the guideline we established, and I'm gonna close it all the way and hit the bottom line. And it's not gonna take the line out completely, but it's gonna make it a lot easier for me to come in with my 0 guard and take the line out. I'm just being patient with it, just going over my system, sticking to my system, knowing and trusting my system, and just knowing and believing that this is going to come together. Throw out my 1.5 guard at this point, and now I'm just going right up under where I left off. I'm hitting the bottom line, and I'm starting with the open, and I'm just going right up to the line. I'm not trying to go above it, I'm just tapping the line. So I basically stay in the same spot. I don't go up too high, because then it's easy when you put the 0 guard on, it makes it easy to push this fade up. You're not trying to push the fade up high. You're trying to just take this little bottom line out. So just stay right up under that. Just tap the bottom of this line, and just slowly close your clipper and slowly tap that line, and I promise you that the line will come out. Just be patient, don't go too high, don't push it high, and just stick to the system, stick to the script, and everything will come together. Now it's time to prep the hair for the lineup. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with some holding spray, spray it, make sure that I brush it down into place, and I'm gonna come back through with the blow dryer and just make sure that it's dry. And now I'm gonna begin to do my lineup. So y'all know how I like to do my slants. I start at the bottom, I tap my slants in. Once I get to around close to the top of his ear, that's when I'll use the corner of my blade and I'll do the roundabout about his ear. And just making sure that I keep it real natural to the shape and not try to dig in too much. Just cutting the tip of the hairs just so it gives the longest lasting cut for the client, and so it looks natural as possible. So once again, I'm going to tap in my slants. Once I get to the top of his ear, I'm going to turn my clipper, use the edge of my blade, and bring this roundabout around the back of his, or around the top of his ear. Not leaving any hairs behind his ear, making sure that I get all the hairs behind his ear and his neck. This is a key little tip. I always do the cut. I always do the whole cut. Line around the ears. Then I put some mousse in. Then I put the do-rag on. Then I put them on the blow dry. But I always do the cut first. Make sure that you do the cut first. And then go to the mousse after. Do the cut, line around the ears. Don't line the front until after this. Yeah, so like I just said in that video, I'm just throwing in some mousse, some curl enhancer. And I'm gonna throw it in, then I'm gonna brush it down, brushing everything in place in the pattern the client brushes the waves. This is just gonna help it lay down. Then I'm gonna throw a do-rag on them. And once I throw the do-rag on them, I'm gonna let it sit. I'm gonna put them under the blow dryer. I'm gonna either blow dry it or I'm gonna let them sit under the hair dryer, just so it helps lay everything flat and create that real nice shine. Here while I got the do-rag on, I'm gonna go ahead and just take my razor, my full shaver, and hit the hairs, the pricklies that were sticking up out of the do-rag. Boom, y'all see how that made it, y'all see how I made it sit. So now I'm just taking some shaving cream and I'm just putting it on the areas that we're gonna line up just to dry it out and to make sure that I'm gonna be able to, it's gonna pull the moisture out so that there's no oily, you know, nothing's oily. And then like I said before, I'm taking that blow dryer just to make sure everything's how it's supposed to and stretched out to its fullest potential. But I'm also using cold air to make sure that the client's not sweating, because that's gonna make it harder. And y'all know how I do when it comes to my lineups, man. Y'all know I like to plant in the middle. I like to work my way from the front to the side. Once the front side meets the vertical bar, I tap the vertical bar in. And since this is a high taper, there will be no C cup. So like I said, we plant to the middle, we work to the side. Once the side and the vertical bar meet, we tap that vertical bar in. Then we go and do rinse and repeat and do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna continue to connect it. We're gonna take it from the middle to the other side. Once the side meets the vertical bar, we tap in the vertical bar. So now I got my no drip. People ask, you know, if you ask what I'm using, it's no drip, Beam Team Cordless Compressor, and Sean's hair color enhancement card. And y'all seen before, man, my man did not need no enhancements. Like, I don't need enhancements as a barber. I made sure that I'm true to my craft and I can cut without enhancements. I'm a true barber. So, you know, this is really just to enhance the cut. That's what enhancements are made for. I made sure that I could line people up and be crispy without them before I even touch them. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just taking it, I'm just adding some enhancements into it, and just taking this cut to the next level. You know, giving my guy a little bit more to his cut. Now I'm gonna take the magic pencil. I'm just gonna draw right in front of his lineup. You can't put it on the hair, because if you put it on the hair, it's not gonna look right, and you don't want to put it real thick, because then it's just hard and messy. Then you just line it up. You just line it and pull it. You don't gotta don't press hard against your client's skin when you're lining it. Just line it and pull it down. And this is gonna like spread a little more than you want it to probably, but that's when you come in with a razor, you pull it back and it kind of blends it even more, so it's better. The razor definitely finishing touch to any cut. So right here, I'm just taking my razor and I'm angling it at a 45-degree angle, pulling the skin, make sure I stretch the skin real tight. Just pulling everything together how it's supposed to be. Here you go, YouTube. This is the before. You know, my boy was looking kind of crazy. This is the after. Y'all see that taper busting? The line's real smooth, natural. Obviously we threw some enhancements, but I mean the outline of the line as natural as possible. This is the best cut that the client can get, for real. You know what I'm saying? Getting the best cut he can get. If y'all like this cut, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, leave me a comment. Let me know if y'all have any preferences of anything that you want to see. I hope that if you came to my channel to learn, I hope that you learn, take something from my game, apply it to yours, advance in life and in your career. You came just because you was like videos like this. I hope you were satisfied. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you back soon, and may God bless. YouTube, let me know what y'all think about that one in the comment section.